This is the audiobook of the book, Who Are You? The Truth About the Whole That You Are. Channeled under the pseudonym The Awakener in 2025. Narrated by Adam, an algorithmic voice generated by 11 Labs. This audiobook is a production of the voice of the algorithm, science, philosophy, and spirituality through the logic of artificial intelligence. Chapter 3. Part 1 of 4. Truths. And the game goes on. Now that you have analyzed and reflected on the rules and the progress of the game in the acceptance phase, redefined your strategy and altered your repetitive, ineffective, and inefficient actions, you have advanced to the next stage. Welcome. Third phase, the game of full and absolute truth, professional level. On the field, two teams seek to experience one another through the classic truth versus mystification. Like every game, it is played somewhere. This one is played through the mind. But to enter an unknown game, you must necessarily choose between two paths and their consequent derivations. The logical path. Before entering, to know the rule, observe and reason about the game and its progress, thus creating your strategy and your tactics. Or the illogical path, to enter the game without knowing the rule, without observing or reasoning, without creating strategies and tactics, and to play by trial and error. Which path do you choose? Strategy. According to logic, each phase of the game carries a higher level of difficulty than the previous one. Now the game is tough. Truly, very, very tough. At this stage, you can no longer train and play at the same time. Your training has already taken place throughout the previous phases. Now it is knockout, a single match, no home and away. Lose, and you are out. The grand final. All the effort you put into winning the ego and acceptance phases will now be tested. All the trophies you earned in the previous phases will be taken away. All your beliefs will be torn down. Your capacity for logical reasoning will be tested in a way never before proposed. You will cry. You will bleed inside. You will want to ask to leave the game. But there are no substitutes. There is only you and your opponent, and it is the most powerful of all. Your opponent now is not within you, as in the previous phases. It is out there. It is everywhere. It is in absolutely every means of communication, acting upon your mind daily for millennia, forcing an extremely heavy and relentless brainwashing. Your opponent now is mystification, a lie disguised as truth, slender as a venomous snake, resilient as water, powerful as a simple drop of water that falls constantly and persistently upon rock until it shapes it at will. But calm yourself. You are not alone. I have been with you since the beginning. So let us prepare together to step onto the field. The best strategy to face your opponent in this final phase is composed of two tactics. They are intrinsic, yet they move in opposite directions. Through your own logical reasoning, you will realize that by executing the second tactic, you will find the path to execute the first. Think, reason, to be through not being. The first, the tactic of full love, will prepare you to step onto the field and will keep you in the game. It is composed of two very specific actions. For its full efficiency, it must be executed throughout your daily life as many times as you allow yourself. The second, the tactic of full reasoning, will make you win the game. It is composed of a single action, also very specific. For its full efficiency, it must be executed throughout your daily life as many times as you allow yourself. Let us move to them, because the teams are already warming up. The referee team enters the field. The media steps aside. The teams take their positions. A minute of silence, in respect to the whole and the parts. The referee blows the whistle. The grand final begins. Tactic of full love. The ball is rolling. A tough match at the start of the first half. Many fouls and unfair plays committed by your opponent, and you remain, always, offside. When the ball reaches your feet, it is no longer yours. Your opponent is a master at creating offside traps. For you to launch an attack that truly challenges it, you must change the tactic currently in use. But you still do not know which tactic you are currently using that keeps you constantly offside. I will help you. It is your narrow vision. You lack vision of the game. You are playing with your head down. You are playing alone. Selfish. That is what you are being. And because you are selfish and do not lift your head, looking only at your individual play, you fail to observe the game as a whole, and when you decide to make a pass combination to receive the ball, you are always offside. Let us pass the ball, exchange passes, create new visions of the game, create other perspectives of plays that leave you free to score. For two forces to meet, a movement-breaking inertia must necessarily occur. When you begin to emanate love, you initiate this rupture and transform yourself into the generating factor of a movement toward the most powerful of all energies ever created, the energy of full love. And the energy of full love, in order to maintain balance between forces, will move with the same strength that you imprint on the original movement, but in the opposite direction. In an exponential growth of movements generated by forces moving in opposite directions, at some point, full love and you will meet. Without love, you lose before even stepping onto the field. And by logic, the more love, the better. The more love you emanate, the more love you will receive, thus creating an exponentially eternal virtuous cycle. Deciphering the tactical scheme of full love. But after all, what is love? Is love for me the same as for you? Is there only one type of love? Is my love for my German Shepherd different from my love for my mother, for my children? Is the love I feel for my father different from the love I feel for the inconvenient son of my new neighbor? By the way, is your neighbor's son not also your son? Is the mother of the young woman at the bakery not also your mother? And the little dog of the girl upstairs, the one that never stops barking, is it not also your pet? The daughter with Down syndrome of your building's doorman, is she not also your daughter? And the drunken and disillusioned Santa Claus, sitting for spare change to fulfill children's dreams, is he not also your Santa Claus? Reflect. And that homeless man over there, what is he to you? And the drug addict at the traffic light on the corner, what is he to you? The prostitutes, the homeless, the pedophiles, the murderers, the rapists, what are they to you? Think. Is the rideshare driver not also your brother, your father, your son and your mother at the same time? And your elementary school teacher? That one is now only memory. When you answer yes and brother, sister to the questions above, you will begin to have a small glimpse of what love is. But, as the wise say, words are carried away by the wind, actions are not. To love is action. Action for the one who is near, for the one who is far, for the friend and for the pseudo-enemy, without expecting anything in return. To love is to give yourself consciously and unconditionally to something that is not yourself. To the rivers, the forests, the mountains, the animals, the indigenous peoples, the wind, the sun, the moon, the stars. To the one who is providing you with an unpleasant experience. Because now you already know that you chose to live this experience as a means of evolution. How can you not love the one who helps you evolve? How? Think carefully. Reflect. How can you not love the one who helps you evolve? So that the understanding of full love may be illustrated, and there remains no doubt about what it does not do, Consider the illustration of the following match. A couple insecure about themselves, both individually and as a unit, lives in a relationship where each expects something from the other. They live based on what they receive reciprocally. In other words, both expect to receive from their life partner what he or she, according to their internal conception of what an ideal partner should be, ought to provide. It does not matter what that is, because each culture imposes a different implicit brainwashing. After decades in a relationship, neither has yet perceived their insecurity, and increasingly, they are unhappy. More and more, they demand from one another fruits that the trees from which they are asking will never be able to give. And when they receive from their partner an undesired fruit, they fail to perceive that at that moment, that is all their partner has to offer. They are ungrateful for the challenging experience because they do not know that they chose, long ago, to go through it as a form of spiritual evolution. They accuse and attack each other, physically and emotionally, completely without love. First, for themselves, and second, for their partner. The pressure becomes unbearable, and the escape valve is triggered. And a betrayal occurs, which is not always related to another partner. It may be financial, it may be the covering up of a reckless action by a child with serious consequences, it may be absolutely anything that one of the two does not wish to receive. From that point on, a relationship that was already unhappy has just become worse. There has been a lie. The partner who will be excluded from the relationship, unaware of what full love truly is, upon becoming conscious of a new truth for their counterpart, becomes unhappy. Truly, genuinely, and deeply unhappy for losing that person who theoretically they had chosen to fulfill their needs. They become unhappy for themselves and wish unhappiness upon the other. But, contrary to what it may seem at first glance, the lie was not told only at the end of the illustration. The lie was not merely the escape valve. It was not the consequence. It was the cause, the origin of the entire problem. It deceived you by making you believe you knew what loving was. It was implanted in both of them by the brainwashing that social standards have imposed on humanity for thousands of years. The fruit of the perfect work carried out by the ego. A work so well executed that it reduced your consciousness to only one thing: yourself and your needs. You still do not know what loving is. Not until today. Not until this very now. Because until now, you believed that loving was receiving. It was having your needs and desires fulfilled by the one you believed you loved. You do not love him or her. You love what he or she provides you. So that the understanding of full love may be illustrated, and there remains no doubt about what it does. Consider the illustration of the following match. A couple secure in themselves, both individually and as a unit, lives in a relationship where neither expects absolutely anything from the other. They live based on what they give reciprocally. In other words, both expect to receive absolutely nothing from their life partner, but in return, they offer from themselves their best feelings, their best thoughts, their best words, and their best actions to the other. After decades in a relationship, both have come to recognize their security, and increasingly, they are happy. More and more, they give their best without expecting anything in return. They have understood that even so, sometimes the fruits they receive will not be the ones they asked for. And when they receive from their partner an undesired fruit, they understand that at that moment, that is all their partner has to offer. They are grateful for the challenging experience because they know they chose, long ago, to go through it as a form of spiritual evolution. They correct themselves, with love, first individually and then together. Everything truly goes very well between them. They are a perfect union, and the algorithm of life continues executing its programming. Yet one day, one of them meets a third person and falls in love, deeply. stops wanting to give to the former partner, and begins to feel an uncontrollable desire to give to the new one. The partner who has fallen in love with someone else communicates the fact to their still current partner, and a revelation occurs, which is not always related to another partner. It may be financial, it may be the revelation of a reckless action by a child with serious consequences, it may be absolutely anything that one of the two does not wish to receive. And from that point on, a relationship that was already happy has just become even better. There was a truth. There was sincerity, not a lie. And because they are secure in themselves, expecting nothing from anyone and being only pure giving of their best feelings, thoughts, words, and actions, they practice full love, even without knowing it. As a result, they understand each other. They respect each other, and they love each other, regardless of whether they remain life partners or not. The partner who will be excluded from the relationship, now aware of what full love truly is, upon becoming conscious of a new truth for their counterpart, becomes happy, truly, genuinely, and deeply happy that their partner has found someone who will now be the focus of all their giving. Happy for themselves and wishing happiness upon the other. Changes in the current tactical scheme. The first step you have already taken. You now know what full love truly does. But in order to achieve it, you must first reason and arrive on your own at the conclusion that your unique and exclusive point of view, yourself, is preventing you from loving fully, because your vision of things is fixed in only one direction. Yours, transmitted by your point of view. And here is the proof. The arrow you see above points in which direction? To the right, correct? But if you turn this book 180 degrees, it will point to the left, correct? But if you turn this book 90 degrees to the right, it will point downward, correct? But if you turn this book 90 degrees to the left, it will point upward, correct? But wait. It is a single arrow. Its direction depends on the observer's point of view.